So sometimes life doesn't turn out as we planned. Sometimes it's something simple like forgetting a piece of camera equipment. Other times you think you're going to be a rock star, and it just doesn't work out that way. But what does always work out is God's plan for our life. That's what we're going to talk about in this episode with Mr. Aaron Champney. Welcome to Burnham Podcast. I'm your host, Danny Burnham. And the light is on.
Cool.
For a limited time only. Here we go. We're here with musical Dr. Aaron Champney.
Wow.
How you like that, Dr. Champney?
I feel fancy. I never went to school for it, but...
Aaron's not a doctor at all. That's okay.
No. Do not talk to me about medical needs.
I still call you an expert, though.
Talk to me about musical needs.
Yeah, you got all the music covered. How you been, man?
Great. I'm tired, but life is busy. Very busy, but it's been good. It's like it's getting richer.
Year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The harder it gets, the more potential for joy, I guess. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking off air about a bunch of stuff. Your life has changed in some pretty major ways.
Oh yeah.
In the last 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah. Got married. That was a very fast engagement. That was fun.
How long was your engagement?
5 months. Yeah, but I was crushing on my wife for 2 years before that, and she had nothing. She wanted nothing to do with me. So
that's always how it
I finally
goes.
convinced her. Maybe I just gave less of my brain cells to her, and she just finally was convinced. But yeah, no, we got married. We bought a house in January, something like that. Yeah, now we have a 4-month-old. And he is amazing.
The best thing ever.
Dude, yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, a lot of poopy diapers, but I love him. So yeah.
Good deal. So what are you doing now, like for a living? Are you a Grammy-winning recording artist yet? Have you just been recording this whole time? Oh, beans. What were we talking about?
You
can start over. Let's not, because we've already done that twice. What was the last thing we were saying?
Talking about busy.
We talked about poopy diapers, right?
Poopy diapers. That might have been the last thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just leave this in. It'll be fun. As we're sorting out what it is that we're talking about. So you got married. You had a kid.
Yeah.
Poopy diapers.
Yep.
Busy life.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys had a baby in February.
Yeah.
And then you went to Africa in April?
Oh, yeah. That was the Africa trip was planned like probably a year before, and we didn't know we were pregnant yet. But it was like, okay, well, do we still want to do this? And Mallory, she is so independent. She's like, I could take on 5 ninjas at the same time. You know, you go to Africa, I'm fine. And so
okay.
we had to like actually talk more and be like, okay, are you sure? Or is this like. It's just like,
yeah, because they'll tell you do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
And then they don't mean that.
Yeah.
Not Jessica.
A mentor of mine was like, "Hey, just keep asking.
Yeah.
just in case." So, but no, it was hard. Because I had all these pictures of Ellis, and I was like, dude, I miss him like
That's tough,
deeply.
Right?
Yeah. But no, it was a long. I was there for 10 days. It was long, but it was really good. We did a lot of cool stuff over there. I'd never been to Africa before, so that was...
Africa's fun.
Dude, yeah, Africa's great. It's a really long flight.
Yeah.
It's 23 hours. Ooh. That's way too long.
So did you fly direct?
We flew from Atlanta to Paris to Senegal, and then down to Guinea is where the country we were at. So at one point we landed in Senegal and sat on the tarmac for an hour.
Oh, wow.
Just to refuel. So that was just a halfway point. So.
Super exciting.
Yeah. But yeah.
So who did you go to Africa with?
My church, Crosspoint, we had a team that was formed. My wife is actually used to be for 3 years, was over all the missions, world missions at Crosspoint. So she organized the trip, but she's actually now taking a position with a nonprofit in Cartersville. So she's kind of jumped off that, and she's doing some pretty cool stuff. the organization is called EFI, and they basically their goal is to teach and train pastors in throughout the world. So
Tango's trying to sneak around on a 200-year-old floor right now. It's not like, just go ahead and do your thing, man. You're not bothering us at all. They probably can't even hear the floor creaking on these fancy directional microphones.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah, it's all just going in. You can't hear the air conditioning behind me.
That's pretty cool.
Or maybe you can. I don't know. Anywho, so she works for a group that trains pastors.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Basically, a lot of people around the world get become Christian, and they get the call to preach, and they have zero training. They don't,
It's important as it turns out.
Yeah. A lot of places in the world don't have a Bible. So, sending the people on the ground over there, they basically need resources, and they supply resources and also go over, build buildings, teach, partner with the churches here, gather pastors who are passionate about it, fly them over and have them teach not American gospel, but more of
just
like, hey, this is what
gospel.
the Bible talks about. This is what, theology, this is, all that stuff. So I think that, I don't know who said it, someone really smart once said that, we're not trying to Americanize other places. We're trying to minister.
Yeah.
So,
that should be the goal. We can do mission work across the street. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to teach them how to be Americans while you do it. Why would we do that?
It almost
somewhere
comes
else?
like natural because this is our world. It's like framed.
Yeah.
This is how I know it to be. But no, she's doing some amazing stuff. I'm proud of her. And I mean, she's like had a baby 4 months ago. So it's like, dude, she's an unstoppable person.
It's
pretty
an
cool.
amazing thing.
Yeah.
It really is to watch a woman, especially even as young as you guys. We talked about the instincts just taking over and
dude, yeah.
And then being superheroes, going back to work in the cane fields with a baby on your back,
Yep.
Yeah, but that's cool. That's how you know, though, that you got the one. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The one that God was thinking about you when he made her, you know. And
it's not just like, we went and saw a movie. It was just, traffic is horrible. It's like, no. Like we go through real life, like stress, hardship, Yeah. So, and it makes us better people. Not, right off the bat. We definitely.
It's a process.
It's a lot of iron sharpening iron, which is not super fun sometimes. So, but that's the cool thing. That's what I love about marriage. So just no one else for any of us gets that.
Right.
So, I'm her person. She's my person. So,
isn't that cool?
Dude, it's so cool. Yeah.
So I had a moment I remember before I got married. I got married when I was 33.
Oh yeah.
And when I was probably 31, might have been 32, we would go to Jasper James' house on Wednesday nights after church and play Call of Duty until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
whatever. Yeah. And I remember waking up on his couch one morning. I say one morning. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I got to get married soon. I'm a loser. And then I was married less than a year later.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of like you. We had a really short engagement.
Yeah.
It was from December
Once you know,
to
man,
April.
it's like,
yeah.
okay.
Well, I was getting
Let's do
old.
it.
I had to get the show on the road.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it worked out. We're doing okay.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So you've done missions with your job. I guess I didn't know you went to Africa. How did I miss that?
It was recent. I mean, it was. I'm also like I'm terrible with social media, so I mean, there's. But no, yeah, I've been to Guatemala 3 times. I've been to Africa. I've been to Scotland.
What? No. Why? When? How did I miss all this? Is it because you're lousy with social media?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm. People will text me and I don't answer back for.
I knew you had been to. Where did you say you'd been? Somewhere in South America.
Guatemala.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess I knew you'd been there.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved Guatemala. I went 3 times, and then trade that for Scotland. Scotland is very different.
Yeah. People sort of speak your language, but not really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool, but it was like a Twilight Zone America. Like everyone understood me, but it was like I don't know where my house is. So.
So did you take your guitar with you on any of these trips?
I did, yeah. Actually, I feel like all of them. broke a guitar on one of these trips too. So
Broke a guitar.
yeah, just luggage sometimes with the airlines. It says fragile, and they're like,
They don't care.
That thing can just throw it in there. So,
Yeah.
But no, I pretty much every time it's like, oh, we need someone to play guitar. Aaron, yeah, you play guitar. So
That's how it goes, right?
yeah, it's just part of the life.
Yeah. But you're good at it and you enjoy it.
I do enjoy it. Yeah.
And it's, quite frankly, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to have that, to be the guy that can play the guitar.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah,
I've called you in a pinch or two and been like, hey, we need a guy to come play the guitar.
I literally, before I came here, one of my friends, it was one of my groomsmen in my wedding, his name's Paul, and he called me and was like, hey, any chance you want to help us out with a spontaneous worship night tonight? And I was like, I'm not available. It's like 5:30. I was like, but no, I haven't gotten that call in a while, but that used to be like my whole identity. Was like, I'm the guitar guy. And I was like, that I need something a little bit deeper than just the guitar guy.
Well, when you were 16, 17, it didn't matter quite as much.
Dude, all that mattered was that I played guitar and that girls saw me play guitar. And I was like, dude, that's all I need. So
that's all any of us need at 16,
dude,
right?
Yeah, right.
I just couldn't play guitar, so the girls didn't care, and I was lousy at football, and like all that stuff. She'll learn guitar. Are you still working with the youth not the youth ministry, the music ministry at church? You still part of that? You were, right? I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I started at Cassville when I was 13 or 14, and like pretty much from then until like December of this last year, I pretty much was like, maybe I didn't play like a few weeks here and there, but it's pretty much been like nonstop. And in December at Christmas, it was like, I'm about to become a father. I'm about to do this, I was getting a little, you always grow kind of frustrated with, like for me, it's worship in general sometimes, not even just my church or any church. It's just, modern worship. And so I was like, I need to take a step back before I start to let these impose how I, have relationships with people. So I haven't done anything with my church since December. And in that, it was pretty fun because I was like, man, I was just doing music with the church just because that's what I've always done. Mm-hmm. And we talked before about this, but like trying to do my own music at some point in my early 20s was like super exciting. This is going to be so cool. I want to do it. I love music. Had no idea what I was doing. So it was pretty discouraging because I was like, I guess this isn't what I'm supposed to do. I was so focused on this is what I'm supposed to do in life. This is my purpose. And it's like, you can have multiple, but yeah, through taking a break is actually like, wow, I have time now to do music and have time to learn how to do it right. I have time to produce. I have time to, learn new things that I'm not just going to be the singer-songwriter that shows up and says, what's an XLR cable? Like, the tech guy is supposed to do that. It's I want to learn all this stuff so that, I become a better person for it. So it's been really fun. My wife has been pretty supportive of, hey, I believe in you. I think you should do this. And so that was definitely one of the things I struggled with. Yeah. Probably every creative person ever does that. It's like, I don't know if I'm good enough. Like, because you just compare yourself to, every living example. Yeah. So.
Well, and it's hard to figure out where the standard is and whether or not you're being successful, especially as a Christian performer, because you can find a place to play for free.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I'm not getting paid for any of these gigs. Am I not good enough to get booked and get paid for stuff? And, but come sing at our church at this thing that we're having. Okay. Yeah. So you're good enough. You are, I promise.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I guess the defining moment for that recently was when I stopped doing music. I get frustrated, and it's like, I'm not doing. I realized this later. At first, I was like, man, maybe I'm just getting angsty. I don't know. Yeah. But listening to too much emo music. But I was like, when I stopped doing the thing I was made to do, I start to get frustrated.
Hey, check it out.
Yeah. It's like we all have a purpose, and we all have these gifts and talents, and like I'm not great in this one field, but I'm I'm great at this one thing that also I love.
Yeah.
So it's like, God gifted me in this way. And for me to look at it and be like, wow, but I want to do this or that. It's like, I literally would get frustrated and like miserable in life because I'm not doing the thing that God gave me specifically to give me life and to also use it. So it's funny how that works.
It is.
But
and God gives you something, like you have to use it. You have to.
Yes. Like not just like, oh, here you go. It's like, I designed you this way. So this is what you're meant to do.
Right.
And that doesn't mean I'm supposed to be like you said, like Grammy nominated, like whatever.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like I get fulfillment from just writing songs. Like on the way here, I had something come to my mind. It's kind of how I write. I just have stuff in the moment and I just voice memo like, oh, I've got to like sing some awful rendition of this so I remember it later because I have ADHD. But yeah, just fulfillment from writing and like creating something. That's pretty much sharing it is the next step. I'm like, God, I don't know. Like, I think now I have thicker skin than when I was like 13, 14, posting videos on Facebook, like recording on my toilet in my bathroom.
That was lousy, and you throw away your guitar forever.
Yeah, or someone's like, that was amazing, you were so good, and it's like, that was trash.
Yeah.
Like I need criticism for my good right now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but no, man, I love it.
But you're getting it out there.
Yeah.
So let's see, it's June the 12th right now. It'll be June the 17th, 18th when this comes out. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have, a few more weeks until your single drops.
Yeah.
Tell us about your song.
It's funny. I was telling someone yesterday. We were talking about it. We had dinner with some great people, and they were kind of talking about like, man, like this song must mean a lot. And I'm like, dude, I liked it a lot, but it's like, I guess I have songs that I've written that are like hands down my favorite.
Yeah.
That I'll record at some point, but I really I wrote a bunch. When I started, like, I'm gonna produce music, and then I had like 5 that I was like, I don't know which one to do, So I just picked one. And it's this one. It's called Struggling, and when I started recording it like 2 weeks ago, I didn't even have it fully written, so I had to finish writing it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's. We were talking about it earlier. Like, I have no idea what genre it is. I have no idea what genre like it falls into. I'm just having fun doing it.
Yeah.
I didn't mean for it to be as serious as it's become. It's like, I think some of the lyrics are, like, love is a word that I've been struggling with because the love that I see on the movie screen's not the love that, and it's like, oh, this, comparing love, what I want in love, and later on in the song is trust. And later on it talks about how, like, I need someone to save me from all this stuff, and it's kind of referring to Jesus. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, oh man, like, first single, usually people are like, check out my song, I'm so happy. I don't know, like super upbeat, and it's like, I hope the song doesn't come over as depressing. But I do think like there's another song I've written that I've like not recorded but just posted online before called I Need to Heal. Yeah. And it was, I guess, like, what I love about writing is that I can write my experiences, and through even a little bit of the sharing with people, the feedback sometimes I get with people is, dude, I was going through this and I didn't know how to verbalize it, and this really captured what I've been trying to figure out. So, I mean, you probably hear that with every songwriter, but when they write something and people relate to it, that's a pretty cool feeling. You feel like, okay, this actually does have not just impact for, like, maybe one day I don't have to like have a full-time job, or maybe one day I can like tour, or right. Whatever it is, but actually can make a positive impact on people because I'm doing the thing God made me to do. Yeah. It's like just obedience. So, but yeah, this song, I'm excited for it, but dude, I'm excited for like the next 5. Like, it's,
well, that's the way it should be, man.
Yeah. Like, it's funny, like, as soon as I started like actually hitting record and buying the equipment and setting up the recording booth and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this and that and that. And I'm like, I have to actually finish each step. I can't just skip to step number 5 because then it'll be trash quality.
It's got to be a process.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Like I've got to, finish what I've started. So, no, but I'm excited for it, man. I don't have a lot of expectations. I'm like, I just want to write. Like a really wise person named Will one time told me that, this year we're going to write 10,000 songs and maybe 10 of them will be good.
Yeah.
And the premise of it is, you write same thing with like anything. You have a bunch of reps and you just do it and it and it's going to suck and you just get better at it. And the more you write, the better you become. That's why dude, Toby Keith, he's written like 5,000 songs.
Oh man. Yeah.
Like people like that who are true songwriters. I mean, Taylor Swift's really popular, but she's written so many songs, man. Like the more you write, the better you get.
Yeah.
So I'm just, I love I love looking back. Like I think I wrote my first song when I was 13, and it was like country song about kissing the night away with some girl on a John boat or something. Like but like looking at it from there to now, it's like, oh, if you just keep moving forward, it's pretty cool to see how far you get. So
we'll put 10 more years behind you and think about,
dude.
When you're 36, you're gonna look at yourself now and be like, oh,
man,
mediocre.
Oh yeah, like even when I first started writing, I was like, I love words and I love wordplay, so I would like put borderline like way too many words in a verse and a chorus, and it was like, oh, these words are so cool, and everyone's like, dude, you lost me 20 seconds in. Like you're just saying a sentence,
Right.
But as you get better and write more, so I need to be concise because you only have like 5 seconds to capture people.
Yeah.
Same thing with a video that you put online. Like attention span is super short.
Grab them pretty quick,
dude. Yeah. Oh yeah. But
so that's, I guess, the good and the bad about writing.
Oh yeah.
Is that when you're writing, it's just you and your thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. So I can ask you a question right now, and you'll say the first thing that pops into your head.
Yeah.
Or I can text you a question and be like, take 24 hours to answer. And then you have this answer, you have time to think about it. So writing is different than speaking.
Yeah.
So you can get this point across, or you can drag it out, and beat a dead horse, and you go, wait a minute, that was too many words.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I love writing. That's probably like, I've had a lot of people say, like, you have sing great, and I know I have like a good voice, and I play guitar. I've been doing that since I was 8, so like, of course that's going to be good. But like, I think my part that I think is elevated above that stuff for me is just songwriting. I love it. Like I think that was like my number one thing that I love.
Yeah.
So, which obviously the other things fall after that.
Right.
But,
yeah.
No, I love it, man.
You ever thought about writing for somebody else?
I've written some things for people.
Okay.
So my church, I've written a few songs for our church. We started getting into songwriting, and it was like, this is actually a tool we can use for ministry. Like writing songs specific for our church, like whatever season we're going through.
Yeah.
And I've seen people in churches that usually the first thing that you think of when your church starts writing is like elevation, or you start thinking about the people who are like mainstream, like CCM radio and stuff, and it's like, like we got to get this out. And it's like, well, first and foremost, the song has a purpose, for our people.
Right.
So, but I got to, it was so cool. Like I remember I wrote this bridge. I didn't know it was a bridge, but I had this idea about the greatness of your name knows no limits, and I was like, dude, I don't know where this is gonna go. And we had a writing session for like 4 hours one day, and with like 5 or 6 of us in a room. And one of my friends, her name is Cammie. She is literally one of the best vocalists I've ever heard. She's incredible. So her name's Cameron Smith, if you ever see her on Spotify. But we were in the room, and all of us were doing stuff, and we were writing the song. I was like, okay, we're out of, First Chronicles, whatever. And it was like, it was cool because God kind of was like, hey, like think about, it kind of put this thought in my head about this, one little thing I wrote 4 months before this. Mm-hmm. And I brought it out, and they were like, okay, let's run with this. And then fast forward like 3 months later, we're playing it in front of our church, and we've made, tracks for it. We've taught it to everyone. We've recorded in the studio for it and stuff. And it's like, oh, dude, like this can actually like come to fruition. Like it's not just in a room, because I've done a lot of writing, but not a lot of putting out.
Right.
So, no, but to answer your question, I've written for a few people. I've done a lot of co-writing stuff. I love writing with people. That's probably, I've even thought about like, what if I just don't like become a solo artist? What if I just write for people? Like Chris Stapleton did that for years.
Yeah. Sam Hunt did it for a long time. Yeah.
But I mean, that crossed my mind. I was like, dude, I just gotta just do it and see what happens and just follow it. Like if it changes, then oh well,
Yeah.
But at least step out,
Yeah.
So
It's funny to hear you talk about how much you enjoy writing with other people, because you've been able to play guitar as long as I've known you.
Oh yeah.
But you were a soloist, and then we instituted the youth band at church, and that seemed like, maybe I'm wrong, I was looking at it from the outside, but it was like a tough transition for you.
Oh, dude, yeah.
To learn how to play with other people.
Dude.
And now you're like, yeah, let's write songs together and perform and do all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The funny thing is, like, that same instance, we were talking about Global earlier.
Yeah.
And whenever I graduated, I went up to do a couple years with Global.
Oh, that's right, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, and so I was we were doing summer camps, and I had in my mind that I was going to be the lead singer for all our traveling camps and stuff, and I was like, I'm going to play guitar and all this stuff. And the guy who was over it was like, hey, actually, like the week before, I don't know, we had talked about it. I don't know if it was ever promised, but I like got in my head that I was gonna, be the lead guy. And the guy over it I was 18, and he was like, hey man, we actually need a bass player this year. And bass players at the back line. And I was like,
do you know how to play bass?
I don't know how to play bass, man. And he's like, well, you got a week to like learn it. And I was like, what? And I also at this point, I actually didn't know how to play guitar. I just memorized stuff. Like I just memorized what chords looked like.
Well, I knew you didn't like read music and.
No, yeah. Like I didn't do anything. So I was like, this is so unfair. Like, this is what God's been promising me or whatever.
Obviously not, Aaron.
And then, dude, like that summer, I remember like I was so mad. And that was the summer that I took bass. Bass is literally just the first 4 chords of a guitar. E, A, D, G.
Yeah.
But also bass is its own style. Like bass and drummer, they're like hand in hand. So bass is literally like made for, no one just plays bass by themselves,
I knew I was about to listen to a lousy band. We were in a place in Nashville, and there was a band that came on. It was one of those deals where like one band went off, and the next one had like 3 minutes to get up.
Yeah.
And they're doing their little check thing, and the bass player goes, the drum's too loud in my earpiece or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Never mind. Next. Dude. Anyway, I hijacked the story.
Oh, no, that's fine. But yeah, I got put on bass. I didn't even have a bass. They like gave me one for the summer. And I remember like playing stuff, and it was like, that was when my eyes were open to, hold up, I don't know as much as I think I do. And also like God was like, hey, you're not like the God of this
real ego
band,
check, right?
Yeah, dude, it was very humbling. But like that was like a catalyst for where I'm at today, because it's funny, like the youth group, like, oh yeah, like I thought it was me,
Yeah.
I also didn't know how a team gelled together and stuff, and I was like, well, obviously I'm like better, so and then it's so funny how it's like, all right, well, take a seat, Junior, and learn,
Yeah.
I was I know everything at 18.
That's so good for us, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's
dude,
hard to not be the best at whatever
that
you're
makes
doing.
me want to do that to other people.
Yeah.
Like, not just even like, dude, you're being a jerk. Like, you deserve it. Like, almost spiteful, but like, that was foundational for me.
Yeah.
And that taught me so much about music. And that opened my eyes to a world of what music actually is, and what it's not just memorizing guitar chords and then playing covers and like, whatever. It was like, man, that was so much fun. Like, there's even one part in the summer I got a bass solo. And I was like, dude, this is sick. It was like maybe 4 or 5 like notes.
Yeah.
But I was like, it was We had so
bass
much
solo, I
fun.
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It was like you can't even hear it in the mix, but
Yeah.
you just see me jumping around back there.
Oh,
It's like, I have it turned up in my ear. I'm like, oh, it's so loud. It's so good.
I try to play bass. I don't have like guitar hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got monkey fingers. You can
That's
play
true.
guitar. I don't.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, with just 4 strings, I can do that, right? Well, like
Yeah.
it turned out it was harder than regular guitar. So I
yeah.
recently picked up the mandolin.
Dude, mandolins are awesome.
Mandolin is a lot of fun. Tango
Mandolins are awesome.
gave me a mandolin.
I remember that mandolin.
Yeah, it's around somewhere. It's here, I think.
That's
It's
awesome.
legendary. Been out of tune forever, but
Oh, yeah.
it won't. I got to replace the strings. It won't like stay in tune.
Oh,
anymore,
no.
But
Yeah, those are like 13 years old.
strings are ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fun. I can do that. It's small.
Oh, yeah.
Can reach all those
You
strings.
can jump in a bluegrass band if you ever find one.
Well, that was the thing. Like we used to go to, we still do, to the Bear on the Square Mountain Music Festival
Yeah.
in Dahlonega.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd take my guitar up there. And like I don't know how to play guitar, but I'm kind of like what you were talking about. Like I can hear it and go, oh, that's GCD. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, like everybody's got a guitar. Everybody and their mama's got a guitar. So when you walk up to a circle and there's already 8 guys with guitars, you're like, well, okay, never mind. But a mandolin, that's a different story.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, no one brings out a mandolin.
So the flies are driving me nuts in here today.
Just make sure they don't get on the, mess up the, you just hear on the mic.
Whack myself in the, yeah. Tango's having himself a chuckle because I just hit myself in the face with a microphone. I'm already struggling.
Why was it not on video?
Man, of all the times, right?
You're just, you're doing that so that you can promote the single, you know?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm struggling. How's the song go? I don't know. The struggle bus.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, but man, I mean, we can't. Tango's known you as long as I have. We
Yeah.
can't sit here and be like, man, it's a real shock that you're doing things with music, and you know,
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
just kind of all thought that that's how it would turn out. I figured you'd been touring by now. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah,
actually.
no, dude,
But
like I literally like, so when I was 21, I'm 26 now. I'm about to turn 27.
yeah,
When I was 21, I remember like, I can do this. This is what it takes. Blah blah blah. I had no idea, but I thought I did, and I remember I was booked in like coffee shops all over the place and stuff. Literally getting nowhere, and that in my head I was like, oh, this is what it takes, and I can't do that, so I can't make it.
Right.
You know, and whatever make it looked like in my head, but I was like, I
Yeah.
can't do that. Now that definition is okay, just doing it, you know, like,
Right.
and writing and having fun and just seeing where it goes.
Things change, especially
Yeah.
when you get married and you have kids.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like I thought that I would be a famous broadcast journalist one day because my high school guidance counselor told me that would be a cool thing to do.
Oh
So I
yeah.
was like, yeah, let's go. Well, it didn't work out, obviously.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, we're not making millions of dollars on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the thing that we do with the
Yeah.
talent that God gave us,
Yeah.
even when we forget batteries and, whatever. It's all good. It's all good. That's why you're listening to this episode instead of just watching it, but that's all right. Some of you guys don't know the difference anyway because you always just listen to it, so no big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you look at things and you're still you're serving just as much
Yeah.
by doing what you're doing now as you would be if you had a $100,000 tour bus.
Yeah. Like I mean, I really I did what? I was 18. From the time I was 18 to like 2 years ago, I did 6 internships.
Yeah.
In like churches, because I was like, then if music's not supposed to work out, then I'm going to be full-time ministry.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a worship pastor. And
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing in my head of like, oh, God called me to music, and I love worship, so boom,
Yeah.
full-time worship pastor at church. Like that's what?
Yeah.
And so when every door kept getting shut, I was like, it's this person's fault, blah blah blah. And then finally, God was like, hey, that's just not what I've called you to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you mean I wasted all these years? He's like, yeah. You're stubborn.
No.
Yeah. So, but that was actually really fun. That's how I got into doing fence salesman stuff. I said that's so weird. That's how I got to work for this fence company.
Yeah.
Like I never dreamed I was going to be doing fence installs and selling and going to quotes and mastering Excel. Like, like I never thought that.
Yeah.
But man, the admin work of that side actually really prepped me for this. Like loving the setup. I got to learn DaVinci Resolve. I got to learn because something I love about everything I'm doing is that I get to learn it all and do it on myself.
Yeah.
'Cause I've recorded with people before and done when I was earlier. Like I had a producer or two that I would go to, and honestly, like I just didn't. I didn't know what I wanted the sound to be like, and so I was like, I had it in my head, but I didn't know how to actually explain that to someone else for them to capture it. But now I get to actually figure that out on my own and capture it. What I think sounds good, or what's in my head. So I mean, it's been really fun. I'm very thankful for my wife. She is, dude, she's been very supportive.
Yeah.
So we don't, she keeps joking like, hey, it's fine, just make sure like in a year that you like get viral or like whatever it is, so that we can like, you don't have to work anymore and I don't have to work anymore, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like just don't make a lot of money. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, yeah, of course.
You don't know these days.
I know, yeah.
I used
That's
to
the
get in
thing.
trouble when I was still working.
You just got to catch an algorithm at the right time and with enough
I used
consistency, man.
I used to say we can't tell a kid that he's not going to be famous on YouTube anymore.
Dude,
Have a
yeah.
plan B.
Oh yeah.
But like, who knows?
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be a good reason.
Yeah. If you obsess enough and just like nose to the grindstone and just do it, then like you got some pretty good odds nowadays.
Yeah.
If you just know exactly, just learn like what to say, what to do,
Right.
what worked, what place to put my energy. It's pretty cool. Internet's come a long way, man.
It has. And I guess, do you have music out now besides this single that we're talking about?
Not on any like music platforms other than like my Instagram or my Facebook.
Yeah.
I still have music on my Facebook. I probably need to take it down. Of me, like I would sit on my like our bathroom toilet in my parents' house and like set this digital camera up on a hamper or up on something.
Yeah.
And would like the worst intro possible, like this is Aaron Champney, because I talked super nasally back then, and like I would do one take and that's it. Like I was like, I'm just putting stuff out there.
I mean, I remember those videos.
Oh yeah,
They weren't bad. I was always proud of you.
my wife, that's one of her favorite things to do now, is like every now and then just watch them, and I hear her cackling in the other room. I'm like, okay, she's watching those.
There's a famous song that was recorded in a bathroom.
Jacob Collier, I don't know how to say his last name, Collier. No, maybe not his bathroom. I'm thinking he
This
did
was
something.
way back.
He did something in his room. Never mind.
The Sound of Silence, Simon Garfunkel.
Really?
He recorded it for the very first time in his bathroom. Paul Simon wrote it at like 3:10 on a Tuesday morning. I think that's the name of the album. It's like 3:10 Tuesday morning or whatever. But that's when he recorded.
That's cool.
Wrote it in the bathroom. So apparently there's good sound in the bathroom.
Yeah, it's got some natural acoustics and
Yeah.
reverb.
It's your built-in recording studio.
Yeah.
Where we all sing in the shower, right?
Dude, yeah. Everyone sounds amazing in the shower.
Yeah. a little better than when I'm driving, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I ran into the other day? I ride my scooter, and like I've got speakers in my helmet,
Yeah.
like Bluetooth to my phone, whatever. I'm listening to music, and I'm at a red light right up the street here, and I'm rocking and rolling, man. I'm singing, and like I didn't think about the fact that the car beside me couldn't hear the music; they could only hear me singing. And I was like,
Yeah.
boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Now I'm on American Idol. They were like just about to get their phone out when the light turned green, and I was like, oh, thank God! And I drove away. I'm not as talented as you in that area. But especially when you can't hear what you're singing, and it's just terrible.
Yeah.
But you had the gift, man.
Yeah, that took a while to realize.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, like humility looks like
Well, why didn't you just ask? I would have told
denying
you.
that. Yeah, I know, dude. People told me, and I was so like, oh, this is what humility looks like. It's like almost denying it.
Yeah.
Which also like really doesn't help, because then you start to think, oh, I don't have it actually, but people see it. They're just making it up though to make me feel better,
Yeah, right.
So,
Well, it wasn't all your fault. I got to take some of the blame for that. I remember the first time I met you. You guys came to church, you and your brother and your mom, and you guys sat right behind me and didn't recognize you. And we were working with the youth at that point. And I turned around after service, and I was like, hey, nice to meet you guys. You should come on Wednesday night. And we talked for a few minutes, and then you mentioned that you play guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, now you have to come because we've been talking about
Yeah.
having music on Wednesday nights
yeah.
and doing those things. And that's one of those sovereignty of God things, right?
Dude,
Where-
yeah. Yeah, that's... I was about to say, I don't remember that, but then you said you turned around. I was like, it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun group. Remember, we had a student band. What was it called? Above?
By all means.
By all means, that's what it was.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember.
it was Ground Zero Youth, but
Yeah.
it was By All Means.
By all
dude.
means was the band, yeah.
Dude. Yeah, Jasper and Matt, I remember, like, they're the best guitarists in all of the land. And
Yeah.
I was like, no. Dude.
Well, Jasper had just learned to play guitar.
That's insane. I did not know that.
Yeah. He was like the
Wow.
adult that we put in charge of the band.
Oh.
Because it was, me and Chris were
Gosh.
doing stuff that we were doing and didn't have time
Yeah.
to like. And I don't know anything about music and putting band together.
Yeah.
So we were like Jasper, and he was like, "Okay, I'll learn how to play
Oh,
guitar
yeah.
and
Yeah.
be the band guy or whatever."
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, I'd forgotten about By All Means.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I remember
wild.
wasn't there a music video at some point? There's a video. at
Was
some
there a
point.
video?
I don't know why I remember seeing a very dramatic, like, it almost looked early 2000s, like camera sideways. There's a filter on it. Like,
Tango, you have any recollection
I don't
of
know.
this? Have you destroyed the evidence? Is that what that face is? Probably.
Dude.
I feel you.
yeah, but like we didn't write songs. I think I joined late, so like that had been established before I was even there.
Yeah.
But
It was just covers. They just played covers.
yeah, and then
which was fun.
Bacon was playing drums too. Yeah.
Yeah. Bacon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bacon. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
He messaged me not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a great fella.
He is, man.
Yeah.
Get Bacon on. I don't know if Bacon is a podcast guest. Bacon's not much of a talker.
You can put the mic like right here.
I
You
mean,
can do some ASMR.
that's true. Like just the sounds coming from his beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a name like Bacon, you gotta be a little sizzling.
I mean, I would think so. He just was never much of a talker. I don't know. Bacon, if you're listening to this, he's grown up now. We got to call him Shane Story. Bless his
Oh
heart.
my gosh, I forgot that was his name.
Right? Yeah.
For years I thought it was Bacon.
I did too. And I thought it was.
Maybe it's like short for something, you know?
Well, I thought it was his actual name because he spelled it with a K. So I was like, oh, his parents' name, like maybe that's some old family name and it's with a K or whatever. Nah, we just called him Bacon.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
People just call me Aaron.
That's it. I just have my name. You got a couple of different identities. Can run into the phone booth and come out as Tango when there's an audio visual emergency.
AVL Tango.
Yeah. Shine
awesome.
a light up in the air. It's like a microphone. He comes running. Oh man. So what's next? When does your album, your song come out? What's the date?
July 1st.
July 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, so closer than I thought.
Yeah, there's no specific, like, it's nothing special about the day. I just was like, I have to set a date.
gotta come out sometime.
Yeah. I've got to put a timeline.
Where's it going to be?
Everywhere. I mean, I putting music out is actually very interesting. It's like a lot harder than I thought. You have to go through these things called distributors.
Yeah.
So, which I'm guessing you guys had to do for
We do that on
Spotify.
podcast, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like the thing I signed up for was like basically I can do. I say all platforms. I think it's iTunes, Spotify. I think SoundCloud
Yeah.
is going to be included in that. I haven't listened to SoundCloud since I was like 17, but
I got some beats on SoundCloud.
dude,
No, I don't.
SoundCloud rappers, man.
That's it.
Yeah, it may be more than that, but I'm pretty much, when I say all music platforms, pretty much thinking about music. Or is it Apple Music or iTunes? I should
It's
probably know this.
Apple Music now, I think.
Never mind,
right?
yeah.
They don't call it iTunes anymore.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Apple Music.
How old are you, man?
Dude. It's on the iTunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still calls it Twitter.
The Twitter. Get on
The
the Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
So is it like you have like we have for the podcast, you have what you call an RSS feed, which is like your identity for your podcast. And you can send it initially, like the service I was using would send it out and it would go kind of slow, or I could just upload it myself to these different platforms. So is it something like that?
Yeah. It's pretty much like that.
Yeah.
I basically will once I once I finally upload it, I got to finish it in like next week. But I'll upload it and try to do a trial run and just see how it works. Because I'm gonna be like, hey, it's out, and I'm like, oh, I don't know why it's not out right now. You know, to be technical, it's just part of learning, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just gonna, whenever I finish it, I'm just gonna upload it. I use this, I think, distributor called DistroKid. That was like it was like you pay $20 a year and just unlimited uploads. I was like, dude, that's
Holy smokes.
I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
that's all I need to know.
Hey, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Can you do a podcast that way? I don't know. Would it put us on a platform we're not already on? Probably not. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Always looking for that new thing.
But yeah, July 1st.
July the 1st. Man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're just looking at one single.
Yeah, one single. I've recorded 2 other songs that are like, I've got maybe 6 or 7, different instruments or whatever it is, like, and some vocals. But put this one out, and then I'm pretty much like, from after this one, I'm just gonna now that this one's kind of on a time crunch. Yeah. But now it's gonna be easier where I can finish the song first, and then hey, I'm gonna upload it, 2 weeks out or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but now the plan is to just keep making music, get better at producing. I've already learned a lot. YouTube's amazing, man. Like watching YouTube videos about,
you can find anything,
dude. Yeah. But like producing, I'm using GarageBand right now because it's free.
Yeah, why not?
I've really looked into what's it called? Some I think it's Adobe something. Someone recommended me. I think you would love the interface for that. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
you would love the interface for that.
Something very similar.
Is
it?
Yeah,
it's like $300. So I was like, maybe we'll wait a couple months because I just
maybe we can get
$500.
Is that a thing? Should I not talk about that on the microphone? No, we're not going to share it because that's pirating. Talk about that off air. Anyway, just write down the timestamp for that and cut it out. Anywho, moving right along.
But yeah, man, I'm basically just record. Me and my wife, we have basically on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are like after our son goes to bed. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to the back room and start recording stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because at first I was doing it every night. She was like, hey, I love you. I miss you.
Yeah.
And your son
gotta set time
also.
aside.
And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just like so excited.
Yeah.
It's like a golden retriever.
While we nailed down, it's Wednesday this week we're recording, but we typically do Monday night because that was the time. Because I ran into the same thing.
Oh yeah.
It's like
just
there's jiu-jitsu and the kids doing stuff.
There's so much stuff you can do.
Yeah.
But there's so little time to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is like the number 6 on my priority list, like compared to everything else.
My jiu-jitsu game is suffering, but my marriage is solid right now. It's good. But you got to make that time. That's good.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's the fun part, man. I'm like, I write music about stuff. I'm like, dude, when Ellis is older, like I kind of want to play songs for him and see, I don't know where it'll be at that point, Yeah. So just kind of, you were like 12 pounds when I wrote this song,
Right. Yeah.
So
well, here's the cool thing, and it was Lyle Morris that talked about that on here. I don't remember if it was on the episode or if it was like pre-roll. But he talked about recording things and how important that is. And I never thought about it before then. But when I'm dead and gone, my grandkids will be able to dial this up and hear my voice.
Dude, yeah.
And watch the video and see what Paw looked like when he was 45, And
oh, yeah.
So it's important to get things out.
Yeah.
Because especially now that we can record the sound of our own voice and video our mannerisms and all the things. And my granddad loved to sit on the stool and play guitar and sing. And this is who he was. And your kids will have that and you'll be able to look back on it. And
yeah. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just take it a day at a time and keep learning, make mistakes and learn from them. And just maybe one day I'll quit my full-time job. I don't know.
Maybe so.
Who knows,
Maybe
dude?
so. We'll see what we can do about that.
Goal is just have fun.
I want to just propel everybody to their wildest dreams.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd have to have a few more viewers to do that. I did it again, Tango. That's twice in one episode. Whack myself with a microphone. I'll see what the problem is here. I shortened the arm this time, and now it's like under me. Anyway. So you gonna drop a whole album at some point, or are we
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna nickel and
Dude,
dime us with?
I think I counted the other day. I've got like 200 songs. Like just all these years I haven't stopped writing.
Right.
But getting better as you write and stuff. So
Yeah.
No, I mean I have lists in my notes app of like, oh, album about this. I have an album titled Letters. That's like I want to do that someday. Like all the letters I've written to people and blah blah blah. But yeah, no, dude, I wanna put out multiple albums at some point. So
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. High ceiling. So
That's it.
yeah.
Well, all right, man. Where we at on time, Tango? 50 minutes. That's a good spot.
Yeah.
That's a good spot. It's been fun. We
It
had
has.
a little bit of a boondoggle early on. But
Yeah.
We'll come back and film it.
we will. You guys will get video of me and Aaron one day. Aaron is incredibly good looking, and you guys should not be deprived of video of his face. So it kind of makes you sick. He's good looking and he's talented. Some of us are just one or the other, but and some of us are neither. And Tango hits record every week anyway, so he does that just for me with his talents.
That's sweet.
But that's it. We'll wrap it up right there. Jump off. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, of course.
We'll do it
Thanks for
again
having me.
sometime.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
God bless you guys. We love you. See you next time.